Hi, I'm Yannick Hanfman.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
This is Sebastian Olfner.
It's Marc-Andrea Whistler.
I am Francisco Cerundolo.
And you're listening to the Gametolovepodcast. Podcast.
Hopefully you enjoy it.
Hopefully.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. It's the final in Madrid, and we've got Iga Swiatek versus Aryna Sabalenka, the two best ladies on the women's tour, going head-to-head yet again in the Madrid final. And what a semi-final we had. It's just finished. Sabalenka-Rybakina went all the way to the death in that final set tiebreak, but Aryna got it done, JG.
Yeah, I think we've made a mistake this past week covering only the men's, speaking about them on the podcast when we should be doing more previews for the women's. We've had 3 of the top players on the women's game in the semi-finals. On the men's, it's been a little bit different, and the quarter-finals were not as good, especially today's ones where, well, bring up the tweet, it was pretty woeful. It's not really the Madrid organisers' fault, but what happened was we had 2 matches for the women's involving 3 of the top 4 players. And on the ATP, we got only 1 set of play with a retirement and then a walkover in the other one. So that was Lehechka beating Medvedev 6-4. Medvedev looked really badly injured. I don't know what was going on. That's the first time he's retired from a match, by the way, in 4 years. So it's not something he does often.
No.
And the other one, Sinner withdrew. So Felix is through to that semi-final. There wasn't any matches. But the semis for the women's, like you said, did deliver. And the match in question, Rybakina Sabalenka, had a bit of everything. Rybakina started the match so strongly. She was up a set, up a break, looking so dominant. And credit to Sabalenka, really, because she showed me something she's never really shown me before. And that was a bit of a stronger mind. And even on match point, and we'll speak about that in a second, but I was surprised how she held it all together in the big moments. Usually she crumbles. If you take us through the match, my analysis was Rybakina didn't look like missing. She looked like she was easily going to win this match after the first set. And I was expecting maybe a 6-1, 6-2 or 6-1, 6-3, something very straightforward and easy. I did not think Sabalenka was going to trouble her at all in the second. But she just turned it on. And as the match went on, she just got stronger and stronger and showed a really good, resilient side. There was break-point opportunities at 5-all in the third set. I think 2 of them. And Rybakina maybe could have done better on one of them. But Sabalenka was so determined to prevent Rybakina and didn't crumble. Usually she always crumbles. The crumble never came. And instead turned it on and was excellent in that tie-break. Some of her best shots of the match, I thought, come in the tie-break.
Yeah, she got stronger and stronger as the match went on.
And to convert the match, Ben, she did it on an unreturnable serve. The moment it went, I think she was 6-3 up or 6-2 up in the tie, or 6-3 up. Rybakina then held both of her serves, so it was 4-5. Yep. And then it was on her serve. So after that, she had the gap of 6-3. You're then thinking, okay, Sabalenka's going to double fault. She's going to make an unforced error. She's going to shank one. It's going to be ugly. Instead, big first serve, unreturnable, done, wins the match. I've never seen her do that.
Yeah. She's turned a corner, I feel. And I think that the crowd were really getting behind her in today's match. Obviously, they wanted to see a match. They didn't want her to just get trounced by Rybakina, because the first set, she got absolutely blitzed. And fair play to Rybakina. She didn't put a foot wrong up until, I'd say, serving out for the match, to be honest. I think when she was serving for it, it was 5-4, I believe. And then a little bit of a wobble. But I don't think it was so much of a wobble, but more Sabalenka just dug in. Yeah. And really, I've never seen her run so fast on a tennis court now. She's obviously been putting in the work off the court, and she's a lot quicker than I remember Sabalenka on a tennis court. And these weren't soft shots going from side to side. This is one of the hardest hitters, Rybakina, who's firing them into the corners, and Saba was not giving up on any ball. So fair play to Aryna Sabalenka. She has proven herself in this match, I think, to be not just a contender for this. Obviously, she's the reigning champion, but coming into this, I thought Rybakina was probably going to win, and we were going to see a Rybakina-Iga final. That was my personal opinion, based upon...
Me too, yeah.
I don't know, just based upon the way they played this tournament. I thought Rybakina's looked a bit cleaner in her performances than Saba.
Agreed,
But
yeah.
after that now, I'm not really sure what's going to happen in the final. Obviously, it's a repeat of last year's final, and Sabalenka did beat Iga in 3 sets in the final as well. It's going to be so interesting. Now, I thought Iga may just only be troubled by Rybakina in the final. Now, I don't know which way it's going to go.
She turned a corner. It's one of the best performances I've seen from Sabalenka. Rybakina is no slouch. She's a fantastic player. And I think Iga will still be happy knowing it's Sabalenka rather than Rybakina, especially with some of the recent heads-to-head. If you just go up a little bit, we can read some of the tweet. Oh, no, sorry, it's the next tweet, this one. Just go back to the last one, because I just want to read the last bit of it.
Sure.
And that was her number 2 ranking was on the line. That's important to know. If she would have lost, she would have dropped down the rankings. She responded like a warrior. It's her 27th final, back-to-back Madrid finals, and her 3rd final of 2024. The most impressive, I think, performance from her as well in 2024. The reason being is she usually wins as a front runner, not someone who can dig in and come through some tough moments. Rybakina serving for the match. Rybakina up 6-1. Rybakina looking stronger and better. Her being pegged back in the 3rd set tiebreak, her coming through. It's just different. I've never seen her do it. And now I'm looking at the final and I just find it a really difficult one to call. I don't know which way it's going to go.
No, I don't either. That was their first match they've played against each other on a clay court as well. So it was a little bit of an unpredictable one to be able to call this one. And you saw how close it is between Sabalenka and Rybakina. Very sort of similar game styles, but very different demeanours on court. One big, fiery, loud. The other cool, calm, collected, and very internal with a lot of their processing of the emotions on the court. But Rybakina does sort of come out of her shell during the points, I think. She just, in between points, she's very, very like calm with her emotions. But today, the Raw won, and I think that Raw got the crowd behind her, and they were rooting for Sabalenka, I think, come the end of that match.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah. So, and this was the end of the match. They shared a nice hug at the net, and it was quite a long conversation as well. They were having a little bit of a chat in each other's ear. I mean, once you've been through one of those matches against someone, you probably just got so much respect for each other that, yeah, it deserves a little bit of a chat afterwards. And I'm sure they're going to be having many more. The head-to-head, that's their 9th meeting. Sabalenka leads it 6-3 now. So she's doing pretty well in the head-to-head against Rybakina, but I think they're going to have close matches every time they play. This next one, this was from the Tennis One app.
Yeah, and that match was so good, the last 2 sets. Can't even count out Sabalenka's competitive drive and tenacity. Rybakina will be regretting that forehand sitter at 6-1, 5-4, 30-all, but she also had no business winning versus Putintseva in the quarterfinal and clutched that one out. Iga Aryna final. There was that moment. There was also the moment at break point at 5-all. There was plenty of chances. Let's not kid ourselves. This could have easily been a Rybakina win.
Yes.
There was just a few little fine details, a few little forehands she just missed, but it wasn't that bad. I don't think they were real. I know they've put it as a forehand sitter. Maybe that one was, but the one in the tiebreak certainly wasn't a sitter. She was moving Sabalenka around, but she was just chasing everything down. And I think it was just a really good play between 2 excellent players. Iga's going to want to not play either of them. She's going to be playing Aryna. On paper, that's probably the better one due to the head-to-head, but Sabalenka in Madrid, probably her best. Yeah,
worst place to play Sabalenka, considering she's beaten her in last year's final. But I think I'm not going to look too much into last year's final. We'll get to our prediction at the end of this video, so make sure to stick around and make sure you've hit a like on it and subscribed as well. This is what she said after the match, Aryna Sabalenka. I thought this was an interesting thing because obviously I didn't really hear what was going on in the crowd. she did hear what was going on in the crowd. She said today, honestly, if not for the people, I'd have probably left the court losing 6-1, 6-1 and be very sad because I felt all the support. I heard someone screaming, "We want to see you on Saturday." It really motivated me in the moment, and I was like, I have to fight. I have to find my best. If not, then, if yes, I'll be the happiest person. Yeah, I mean, an incredible moment for her in the match that she's actually drawn inspiration from one person shouting something. I would love if that person can come forward and we can find out who it is, because pretty inspirational words. Loved it. Anyway, right, on to the next one. This one's an interesting statistic. Well, this one, you can take us through this. I'm not sure she'll like this one.
Yeah, and this is 60, and that is Sabalenka's become the player with the most games dropped en route to reach the final at the Madrid Open since the tournament's inception in 2009. Battles, you can see there, Kuznetsova 2015, 58. But yeah, it doesn't happen often. 60 games dropped. So does that take the shine off her performance at all? I think I would agree. I don't think she's played that great this whole tournament, but today it was just a really good performance. It was her best performance in Madrid so far. But some of the other matches, I don't know if you've got them up there, but it'd be good to speak about some of the ones she's played so far, because I don't think she's impressed me too much, in fact.
Well, she's struggled, to be honest, I think, in this tournament.
Lynette, 3 sets. Montgomery, 3 sets. Collins, okay, granted, the tough one, 3 sets. And then it got better. Andreeva, straight sets. And the Rebecca one was really tough, but she did well. That was 3. Probably the worst one, I think it was Montgomery.
I mean, she's been to 3 sets, everyone other than Andreeva.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the
I
Daniel
think Montgomery
Collins,
was the one where you had TFO in the crowd.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was shocked that she dropped a set to Lynette and Montgomery, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't think she should have been dropping sets against them. The Collins one, she could have quite easily lost that match. Danielle Collins in great form.
Yeah, I did watch the Lynette one, actually. She didn't play very well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just about just getting it over the line when you're not playing your best tennis. And she's very fortunate to even be in that match against Collins, I think. And then she just manages to just be gritty and just find a way to win. And that's the new Aryna Sabalenka. She's dropped 60 games, and look who she's playing in the final. Someone who's dropped only 20. That's Iga Swiatek. I think she said in her post-match thing as well, they said the amount of time she'd spent on court compared to Iga as well, and she was just laughing about it. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter which way you get there, as long as you've just got enough fitness to get yourself through the final as well. It doesn't matter like how you get there, but Iga will be fresh. But has Iga even been tested?
I saw some crazy stats about Iga, by the way. I'm trying to find it now. Here is one. In addition to reaching her 11th WTA 1000 final, Iga's now 75-0 in completed main draw matches at the WTA 1000 level in her career after winning the first set. So when she wins the first set in a 1000 event in her career, she's won 75 matches with 0 defeats. Her last loss was 2019 Indian Wells.
Wow. I mean,
and it was a weird loss as well. It was a qualifying round 2 loss as a 17-year-old to Bonaventure.
gosh, she lost to her these days. That would be a terrible loss. But
so Eagles, 17 years old, lost to Bonaventure.
I think that this is the crazy thing as well with Iga, and I know that they keep on saying it on Sky Sports as well, and I think it's good to remind everybody that she is 22, and I think that is... It still shocks me every time I look at what she's done already in her career, and she's only 22. Wild. Because she can get better. She will get better.
Well, she was asked. She was wearing, I think it was an orange beanie. I don't know if you've seen the interview. I couldn't quite hear it because she was speaking so quietly, and the sound was quite low on the telly. But she was saying that the question was a good one. It was like, what's actually motivating you to keep playing these events, and what's your goals in tennis? I mean, you've achieved so much. You're world number 1, keep winning easily. But what's your goals? And she was just saying she just really enjoys winning. That's pretty much what drives her.
Brilliant.
It was a pretty straightforward answer. It was just like, I really like playing tennis. I'm trying to improve my game, my technique, constantly improving the things I'm doing. But ultimately, before everything, I just want to win. And when I go out there, the feeling of winning a tennis match is the best feeling in the world. And that's exactly what she does. I mean, she's the queen of the bagels and the breadsticks. There's so many of them. You can see how she's reached it. 6-1, 6-4, 6-1, 6-1, 6-1, 6-love, 6-love, 6-2, 6-1, 6-2. I mean, it's just dominant, super dominant. And this stat as well, sorry, this is for Sabalenka I've got, but I wanted to read it out. That it relates to Iga slightly, and that is that Sabalenka is the professional streak crusher because she ended Danielle Collins' 15-match win streak, and she's also the person who ended Iga's 75-match streak at world number 1. So if anyone can topple someone who's dominant, who's doing well, it will be a Sabalenka. She's got the ability to end someone's streak, and maybe that could be in the final Iga.
Quite possibly. I mean, she beat her last year in the final, and I think the key was, as we know now, she won the first set, Sabalenka, so that's how she beat Iga. Win the first set and then go from there. I think that's got to be the plan. Don't start slow against Iga because...
Well, that first set is so important, clearly.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to pose a question as well. I mean, just something to throw out there, just as a debate, because I know that there's some people that have a different view on women's tennis and maybe Iga especially. Obviously, she's so good and her game style is so effective on the clay courts. Like, does it get to the point where she beats people so easily that people aren't as interested in going to watch her play? Which is, for me, it's like it's quite a sad thing that she's so dominant. It's like, in my mind, I was trying to think, like, if you had a football team and they won 9-0 every single week,
Man City.
are they still like as interesting to go and watch play because you're always like, oh, we won again, oh, there's no struggles ever? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's, you need something to, like, a little bit of
struggles. I think you need some ups and downs in the match.
Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
even
like,
if you keep winning, but it's like
you had to go through like like a really tough, like, not just like whoop bagel.
It just seems a bit too easy. I know what you mean. This year, and I could get some hate for this comment, I found her a bit boring watching some Iga matches. I used to really enjoy them, and I was a big fan of hers. I'm not as big of a fan, purely because some of the matches I've watched, especially on the podcast, really didn't watch those. I've just sat there and it's been a bit boring, too one-sided. And the player I enjoy watching the most on the women's tour right now, do you have a guess who it is?
Raducanu?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It is Rybakina. She's my favourite player to watch.
Oh, brilliant.
Who's your favourite player to watch?
Well, after today's performance, Sabalenka, I think. There's never a dull match
You
with
like
Sabalenka.
Sakari, right? You always like
Not
watching
for,
her.
I think for a popcorn match in the women's game, Sabalenka will never disappoint you.
If you could get tickets to watch any WTA match live, who would it be? I don't even know the matchup, but what player would you definitely want to see? Tickets in Miami.
I think I want to see Sabalenka.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think that she has the ability
It's
to.
Rybakina for me though.
But this is the thing with Iga, that because she wins so convincingly, and I don't want people to think like we don't like Iga.
So
and
you're
don't
joining
think
me
she's
on
good.
this whole Iga thing?
No, but I'm just saying.
Jumping on the bandwagon.
No,
bandwagon
I'm saying
Ben, they'll call you.
that if you go to watch a match, Sabalenka, she could self-destruct at any time, and that's a thing that people actually like to go and see. Like, oh, is it going to happen now? Oh, the wobble. Oh, the drama. Oh, she's down. Now she's up. It's like when we watched like Leylah Fernandez in the US Open. It was incredible because every match was a struggle and she finally beat everybody. And it was like such an amount of like stress, the match, to finally come through and win, that the win just seemed so much bigger. I mean, It's all about stories. Like I think,
Well,
feel like
Raducanu
sport.
won the US Open relatively comfortable
Well,
without
there
many
you go.
issues,
And then,
but that was still very exciting. So
but it was
I
exciting.
don't think it's just
because
like that.
it was exciting because the narrative of that event was two very young players. One had come from qualifying. That was the crazy thing about Raducanu. She hadn't dropped a set all the way from the first round of qualifying, all the way to the final. And then you had the other girl, Layla, who had gone through the mill against Grand Slam champions, knocking them out, and then had to play Raducanu in the final. But yeah, completely different routes. But I don't know. People like a story in sport. That's all I'm saying. And they pay their money to go watch a story.
That's true. And a word on the men's, because yesterday I asked you a very good question towards the end of the video. I think it was one of the last things we said. And that was, who's going to win the men's Madrid Open? Your answer was Rublev. My answer was Yuri Lehechka. I'm doubling down. I'm doubling down now. He's just beaten Medvedev. And I'm telling you now, he's going to beat Felix. He's going to win the whole thing.
I mean, I wouldn't
It's
be
Jay
mad.
Genius prediction. Lehechka to win it. Beats
Well,
Nadal, wins it all.
It's my player roulette's Rublev, so I'm sticking with him. I'm hoping he
Do you
can
still think
bring it
Rublev
home.
can beat Lehechka?
Yeah, if you made that match against Alcaraz, I mean, he was
It's not
on
Lehechka
fire.
level.
I mean, Lehechka
What's the
is...
forehand speed?
He's maxing out right now, Lehechka. He's on a red line at the moment. I'm not sure where he goes from here. Like, if he improves, he's just very solid. Is he like the Rabakina of
I think
the
he's a top 5 player in the making
of
at
the
moment.
men's? Well, Lehechka's solid. I mean, he's always had the fundamentals. I just can't wait to see if he can actually start challenging the likes of someone like a Sinner or a Alcaraz and those type of players regularly. Well, imagine he's in the top 5 or something with that serve and that power. Scary.
Mate, it's going to happen. His game's too good. Let's move back to the women's. Let's give our final preview. These two players will face each other in the singles final back-to-back years at the Madrid Open for the second time since the tournament's inception after Federer and Nadal in 09-10. So it doesn't happen often, and crazy that we're getting an Iga Sabalenka final again. The Roger still nowhere near as going to... It's never going to be matching Federer and Nadal, in my opinion, but I could be biased. The head-to-head is Iga leads 6-3 and won their most recent meeting at the WTA Finals, but Aryna beat her last year to win the title. Special rivalry between 1 and 2 in the world. Who wins? Go down to the graphic and give your prediction, Ben.
Well, yes, there they are, and this is tough to call, but I think because Iga is yet to win Madrid in her career, this is one thing which is driving her. She's a winner. You said it earlier. She's playing tennis to win stuff, and she's going to want to have this trophy, and she's going to want revenge for last year's final. So I think she's going to come out, and I think that she will beat Sabalenka, and I think it will be in 2 close sets. I don't think there'll be like a breadstick or anything. I think we'll have maybe like a tie break and then like a 6-3.
I don't know what way it's going to go. Interested to see what the bookmakers have it. Let me know.
I'll have a look.
Because part of me thinks they could put Saber as favourite, but I'm not going to go for that. I'm actually, sadly, going to go for the same thing as you. I'm going for Iga also in two very close straight sets. I think she's going to win straight sets. They're going to be close ones. And I'm going to have the same prediction as you for this final.
Well, if you want to make some money, potentially, bear in mind she won the final last year. Aryna Sabalenka is at 3.5.
Wow.
And Iga at 1.3.
That's crazy, in fact.
Yeah, that is crazy. Considering how well Sabalenka's been playing, they're just basing this probably off of Iga just smashing up all of the other players on the tour. But they don't realise that Iga only really struggles against Sabalenka or Rabakina. So,
But more so Rabakina.
yeah, but she lost to a Sabalenka in the Madrid final.
It seems like a bit of a different Sabalenka. I think it's definitely good value on Sabalenka if you fancy a flutter. That's where my bet would be. But if I was to give a prediction, I'm going to be going for Iga in straight sets. And we've both got that one. So let's wrap it up there. That is our Madrid Open Final preview. We spoke a little bit about the men's as well. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and leave your comments below on everything we've discussed. And let us know who do you think is going to win the title. Hopefully we'll cover the match. We'll see how things work with timings, but we'll certainly be bringing a podcast very soon.
That's it. It's on Saturday in the afternoon, so make sure join us for it.
See you guys then.